Let's take a look at adding and removing apps and extensions from your Chromebook. To get started, we're going to visit the Chrome Web Store. And the easiest way to do that on a Chromebook is to click the app launcher in the bottom left corner. And you'll see a variety of things. Somewhere amongst your apps, there should be one called Web Store. You can either just look for it or do a search if that's easier. So we're looking for this shopping bag, the Web Store. Let's go ahead and open that up. Inside the Web Store, you'll see several different sections over on the left. 4 sections: extensions, themes, apps, and games. We will primarily be looking at extensions and apps. Now, the themes you can check out. Most schools will block themes because there are some inappropriate ones. And then games are really just apps that are games. And again, most schools will block the game category as well. But there's a lot of helpful things in the extension and app category. Now, one extension that I would recommend everyone have is called Mercury Reader. And so to install this extension, I would just search for it. And it'll pull up a bunch of results. Each of these is a different extension. Now, you'll notice that when you search, it will divide your search results into categories. So we have the extensions here, and if we scroll down, then we'll see the apps as well. Now, this is the extension that I'm looking for, and I already have it installed, so it gives me the opportunity to rate it. You would click Add to Chrome, and it would take a couple of seconds, but when it is installed, it will show up at the top of your screen. This one has an icon that looks like a rocket ship. So this extension, that app would appear. Now, this extension is helpful for eliminating comments and advertisements from news articles. So it's very helpful if you want to show something to your students on your projected screen to clear all of that stuff out. So that is an example of an extension. Let's take a look at a Chrome app. This one here is a good one. So this is a QR code reader for Chromebooks. So I search for scan QR, and I'm going to get a couple of categories. Again, I have extensions. And then if I scroll down, I will see apps. So this is the one that I use, that I recommend. And again, you would install that. Now, apps will not show up here by your extensions. They won't show up at the top of your screen. They will show up in your app launcher. So when you press that search key or click the launcher button in the bottom left corner, these are your apps. And it'll appear somewhere in here. If you've got a lot, if you just search for QR, it would pop up. And this is the example of the QR code reader app. So that's how you install apps and extensions onto your Chromebook. Now, if you install one and you decide that you don't like it, you don't need it, you don't use it, doesn't do what you thought it did, we need to talk about how to manage these apps and extensions as well. Apps are simple to remove. So if we don't want that scan QR app, we would just right click on it, 2-finger click, and you'll see uninstall. Now, there's not really a major concern about having apps installed that you don't use, other than it just gets a little cluttered. I mean, I have way too many Chrome apps, honestly. But to just remove the clutter, you can right click and uninstall them. The apps don't actually do anything until you actually click to open them. That is not the case with extensions. Extensions, you need to keep a more careful eye on. Some extensions are constantly running in the background. They're always doing things, checking things, looking for things, which can eat up your processing power, consume bandwidth, and just generally slow down your computer. Generally speaking, you only want to have apps enabled that you actively use on a regular basis. So there's a couple things that we can do. I'm going to click on the snowman menu in the top right corner, 3 dots right here, and we're going to go down to More Tools and then over to Extensions. So you'll want to come here as well. And on this page, you will see all of the extensions that you currently have installed. Now, I only have, 7 or 8 running, but I have hundreds of them listed here on this page. Many of these I have for demonstration purposes, like Equatio. This is a math tool. If I'm working with math teachers, I will turn it on. But if I'm not, then I will leave it off. So you have the ability to turn on and off your extensions if you wish. If there's an extension that you just legitimately don't need anymore, like this one here, Emoji for Google Chrome, I'm not using this one anymore. I've kind of switched over to this one. I can click remove, and that will actually uninstall it from my computer. The big concern is about running too many Chrome apps at the same time. Most problems with Chromebooks can be traced back to having too many Chrome apps installed or having two Chrome apps that conflict with one another or something along those lines. So if you're ever having trouble, disabling your Chrome apps is a good place to start. Now, for some more advanced users, if you're in charge of technology training at your school, professional development, if you're a computer teacher, you probably will find it useful to install a tool that allows you to manage your extensions easier without having to go into the Chrome extensions area each time. So I have a manager called Extension Manager or Switcher. This is a very good one. I'll show you too in the web store. A little meta, I realize. It's an extension to manage my extension. So what this does is, let me show it to you. It allows me to look at all of my extensions in one window without going into the settings area. So I can scroll through here, just select or unselect whichever tool I want to enable. I can also search. So, Equatio we just looked at. I can disable that very quickly. So this is very useful if you need to turn on and off extensions frequently. If you use the same ones on a regular basis, managing it through the settings within the Chrome browser is totally fine as well. There are several extension managing apps available. I use the one called Switcher, which I recommend. It's very good. But you can find your own as well. That's a quick look at managing your apps and extensions. Hopefully you'll find some good content to make your Chromebook even more useful.